Good evening. This is Amber Vargas, founder and owner of Girl Pursuit, and this is episode 4, talking about the birth of my daughter, the one that showed me the way to embrace the fire within, who awakened the fire within me by showing me her fire within her. Excuse my hiatus from doing a podcast. It's been quite a few weeks, I have realized. Life happens, but here I am again. And I am glad you are here to listen to my story. So my daughter was born during COVID in October of 2021. Going out of the pregnancy of having my son back in 2018, I remember after giving birth to him, I looked at my doula and my husband and said, F this, I'm not giving birth again. Like, this is it. And a couple of years went by, and that void started creeping in of maybe he needs a buddy. Girl, boy, it doesn't matter who it is. It would be nice for him to have a sibling. I'm the youngest of 5. My husband has a sister, and it's something that I always envisioned of having 2 and done. 2 children and done. And so COVID hit. That was interesting. I had pulled the plug in July of 2020 and stayed home to raise my son. And in 2021, October, my feisty little daughter, amazing soul, was born. That journey into motherhood with her, because you are reborn every time you give birth to a human being. I firmly believe you are reborn as a woman. You weren't the same version you were when you had with your first baby, and you definitely weren't the same. You definitely do not become the same woman you were even before having babies. We have these different versions of ourselves that we become, sometimes unwillingly or hesitantly. Maybe that's a better word to put it as. But I recall, because of such a traumatic birth and not being able to advocate for myself with my son's birth, and I wanted to make everything right and get everything done. I'm such a a person that is determined, a person that wants to make sure that she has all her ducks in a row, her T's crossed, her I's dotted. And when it came time to be pregnant with my daughter, I remember being on a mission and literally saying, I am going to do this on my terms, on my way, how I want it. I'm going to be in control. I'm going to run this marathon. I'm going to do it on my terms, and everybody should follow my way that I would like having my own birth plan, which I wrote. I had signed up for this course. It's called Hypnotic Birthing, which not necessarily it's actual hypnosis, but this birthing course that taught me how to really tune in to myself and breathe through it, because it was a marathon and it was a lot of breath work, and environment played a role. It was mindset, mind over matter. It is so real and it's so legit. And I wish I knew that for my son, but I didn't. I knew it for my daughters. And I was so adamant, even to the point where I got a bit loony when I would sit and watch videos of episodes that would teach me how to go about a certain stage in laboring. I don't recall exactly the phases. It's been a few years. But I remember being annoyed at my husband because he wouldn't sit there and watch them with me, because I wanted him to be educated in case, just in case I missed a step or wasn't delegating what part to whom when it came down and came time to deliver our daughter. So my daughter was a week late. My son was a week early, which is quite hilarious. Usually it's the firstborn is a week late or weeks late. But no, my daughter did not want out. I made sure I stayed firm on my advocating that I did not want any kind of induction done. I was so like, nope, I'm going to do this the natural way. Fun fact, my mother is 4 foot 10 inches and my father is 5 feet to 11 inches. They're both elderly now and they're getting shorter, but I'm on the taller side like my father, and my mother had given birth to 6 children. I had a brother that unfortunately passed away at 2 days old. But my mother gave birth to all 6 of us at home in Pakistan. And I remember saying if I could just be at least half the woman that she is, no pun intended, because she's short. And I remember just like over and over saying, I want to be at least half the woman she is. And by that I meant like trying my hardest to tune into myself and give birth unmedicated and do what my body is meant to do, without any kind of help, because I wanted to push myself to see how and where I would go and how I can get there and feel my true strength. Not to each his own. Someone wants to get medicated, someone wants to do a supernatural birth, home birth, however it is, more power to you. My story, I'm sharing it, what empowered me as a woman and made me feel like a dang badass goddess in real life. It's another spin on girl, by the way. So I was adamant, and I remember just being at the hospital, setting up. So 41 weeks. My midwife, because I actually chose midwives this time around. Changed my OB practice because I left that last one because that wasn't like heard of. I could have pressed charges, all this stuff with my old, not press charges, sorry, sue. The old practice with the OB that was horrendous with my son when I had him. But I changed practices. We were in New Hampshire anyways, residing there. And my daughter was born in the New Hampshire hospital. And I chose to do the midwives that time around. And it worked out for the benefit of me because they were more lenient and able to adhere to my wishes and were easily compromising and did not fuss or kind of try to demand me to doing something that they felt was safe for me. I was in control, and I really appreciated that. So I go in for my 41 weeks appointment, and she does a cervical sweep. Yep, TMI, sorry, motherhood unfiltered. But that's the first stage of induction, and I needed that, unfortunately. But fortunately, didn't want it, needed to happen, so it got done. And then it just kickstarted labor. And I want to tell you, I labored my daughter for, I forget exactly how many hours. It was 12, 15 hours. Could have been shorter, but she was sunny side up, I think. So that was interesting. Didn't even want an IV. I didn't want any poke in my hand, just in case. You know how they poke you with an IV, just so if they have to put an IV bag on, it's quick, it's there. But I didn't even want that. I made it sure that my ambiance, my environment, lights were low, candles were on, my oils were burning, music was on that I liked. I had a TENS machine. It's really popular in like the UK, where it just gives you little shocks on your back, kind of like when you go to some kind of therapy, and it like shocks your like nerves, just to like help out, ride out any kind of labor pains that you were going through. And that's it. That's all I did. I gave birth to my daughter. I labored a lot in the jacuzzi tub. They would not allow me to birth there. I birthed her on all fours, guys, and I did it. I did it without medication. I effing did it. I remember feeling the ring of fire, all the things, and I did it. I was in control. I remember her coming out, and I looked at my doula, same doula, Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn, my doula up in New Hampshire. I remember looking at her and saying, I fucking did it. I fucking did it. Like, I did what I set my heart out to do. I was determined that I wanted to give birth naturally, unmedicated. That was my goal. I did it. And guess what, y'all? Even afterwards, because I was on like some weird ass high, because it happens after birth, and I only knew of it because I was experiencing it, that I didn't even ask for an ibuprofen. It was offered to me, Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever it was. I didn't take it. I was on this interesting high and in awe of my daughter, and she was much bigger than my son. And yeah, it was freaking amazing. It was so empowering. It was so goddess-like. Like, I felt like, holy shit, I could do this. I can do this. Everybody can do this. Any woman can do this. So, a word of advice, some advice to anyone that wants to hear some inspiring words or have any kind of uplifting, remarks and recommendations. Like, you can do it, and I highly recommend looking into hypnotic birthing. Again, it's not hypnosis. You don't go into a trance. It's basically you staying mind over matter, like you repeating to yourself and learning, however the courses teach you, that it's your mind that gets you where you want to be as far as your emotional state. Let it be scared, anxious, nervous, or empowered, and taking that inner lioness out of you. And that's definitely what happened with me. And I'm so appreciative of that journey and that experience, and that I was able to advocate for myself. And guess what? After all that, my daughter latched, and she latched amazingly. It was so bittersweet because that's what I wanted for my son so badly. But I was so grateful that I was able to do it for my daughter. And y'all, when I tell you this girl drank, she drank. Like, she would not get off the boob until just recently. She's 43 months old, which is goddamn 3.5 years old. Yeah, I know. Some people might call me insane, or that it's like insanity or weird or whatever it is, but it's like she made sure she got herself fed and all the nutrients she needed from her mother's milk, and then some. Maybe her brother's share too. So that was that, and it's been amazing. I was able to actually feed my son some of my breast milk, and it's called a Haka. It's like this manual pump that you just put on, and yeah, I was able to feed him some. And I remember him tasting and saying, "This tastes like melon." Mind you, his favorite fruit is cantaloupe, which is a type of melon. So that was pretty interesting and funny. But I was able to give him some after she was born, so that was nice. Yeah, that birth story, empowering. That is for damn sure. Amazing, that's for damn sure. Kudos to me, damn sure. Like, I'm so proud of myself. And I know, and I hope you can be too. If and when you ever want to go down that journey, and you decide to. But my daughter is a spitfire. Ever since the inception of the foundation of the whole brand, going back to her being a gremlin, yeah, she's shown me that, like, hey mom, hello, woohoo, I'm you. I'm that inner child that wasn't able to speak up and do all the things. That's me. It's just me trying again. And it's literally her mirroring me. She's a better version of me. She is very feisty. She holds her own so well. I'm in awe of her. I really am. I truly am. I wonder if my mother was like that of me too, because I've always been like that. And yeah, I wonder. And maybe I think I would ask my mother, and I think she would be in awe of me. Yeah, and I'm in awe of my daughter, because my daughter's literally showing me, like, I am who I am. I am bold when you ask her to pick something up, like something super simple, and she'll literally say, no, I don't want to. And it's like, you are correct in your feeling, but it's like, it would be nice if you just picked it up, because, we try to teach our children manners and to be patient, obviously, but we co-regulate that with our own patience. But just like teaching manners and having like the little things that we teach of saying please and thank you. And there's many times where she's defiant and she won't say please or thank you, but she's been straightforward with her requests or her statements or her answers, and it's really takes me aback at times, because I don't know what to say afterwards. I don't correct her, because what is there to correct? There's really nothing to correct. She stood her ground and told me what she felt or how she felt and gave me her answer, and there was nothing wrong with that. It's unfortunate how we, like, with societal norms of like expecting children, or especially girls, to have that decency or common courtesy. That's the word I was trying to find earlier. Common courtesy of saying please and thank you. But if she says, I don't want to share that, it's okay that she says, I don't want to share that. Wait your turn. Like, she's saying what she means. And is it so wrong that she says it so boldly? So that's an interesting take on life. When I would, quote unquote, correct my son, he would right away say, please, mommy, or okay, or thank you. When I ask my daughter to do that, she has pushed back and told me, like, no, I don't want to. Why don't you do it? Or, no, I'm not feeling it right now. And she's literally, truly telling me how she's feeling. And is that so wrong? Am I teaching her that it's not okay to be herself? And am I teaching her that she still needs to listen to me? There are ways that, I am also learning with her, because it's new territory for me, where it was so easily easily persuaded with my son to mind his manners and be courteous. And with her, it's not. Dude, it's a trip. She's amazing. She's so amazing. And I don't want to dim her light. There's times where I literally just stand my ground and look at her, and I'm like, there's some moments where I clench my fists. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say anything that would make her feel bad about what she said, because it really isn't something bad about what she said. So what I'm trying to tell you is that she literally was, in moments like that, she makes me question why I even try to correct her or show her, hey, this is the nicer way to say it. Why does it have to be the nicer way to say it? Why isn't it just okay and accepted the way she said it? Here we go down to societal norms. I don't know, we're always going to have this conundrum, I guess, in life, and us as women, as females, of when is it okay, or when is it acceptable, or when is it fine, or let it go of like being courteous. There's ways, and I want to be able to teach her that, she needs to use it in ways where it will help her and lead her in life, and not the world trying to shun her down and trying to tell her, no, you shouldn't do this because you think you're too much, and not you think you're too much, that you are too much. And I don't want that for her. I really, really, learning again as we go every day. It's something new I'm learning, and I hope to be guiding her properly. And define properly, I don't know. I'm going with the flow as we go every day. But when it comes to being a girl, it's so different. And raising a girl, oof, yeah. It's definitely opened my eyes. And yeah, she has, look at what she's done. She has shown me to embrace the fire within me. I wouldn't be here talking in this microphone and creating this podcast if it wasn't for her. So I'm immensely grateful and thankful for her. And I'm so lucky to be her mother. And yeah, I'll leave y'all with this. If there is some fire or some light inside that you need to embrace, or that you can help someone embrace, I hope my story can enlighten and or empower you to be okay with that loudness, that boldness, that sassiness, that feistiness. Allow that authenticity to shine and that fire to burn. My name is Amber Vargas, founder and owner of Girl Pursuit. Talk to y'all next time.